Hello YouTube fans, here again. And I thought I'd talk about this one of the unestimated Doctor Who's. That's right, unestimated Doctor Who's. That being the Sixth Doctor. That's right, the Sixth Doctor. Let's not forget we had Ian Martner, we had Patsy Troughton, we had John Pertwee, we had one of the best, I should say, that being John Baker, and then we had Peter Davison, one of my favourites. This would be my next favourite. I was like Peter Davison because he had the same name as me, being Peter. And he was basically an 80s doctor, but at the time I think Peter Davison decided he didn't want to be doing too many Doctor Who, didn't want to be typecasted as Doctor Who, and it's time for him to move on. So in 1984 he decided to do his last season of Doctor Who and go bye-bye like they all do. So at the time they was looking for a new doctor. There was rumours at the time of bringing a female doctor as Doctor Who. It's that interesting when you look at Doctor Who now. Never got to be, but instead we had Colin Baker. Now at the time, Colin Baker appeared in an episode with Peter Davison before. I think it was one day before Peter Davison decided to leave the show. He appeared as a Time Lord soldier who had it in for Doctor Who. Which I find funny, he comes into this as Doctor Who. So the first outing wasn't really bad. He comes into it, it was called The Quins, had these two Quinn boys, down to Snoopy and so on. And so on. And then the series sort of went down a bit. He's had just doing 2 episodes per episodes. That is no fault of Colin Baker. That is no fault of Colin Baker. That's your wonderful fucking BBC. Say it again, your wonderful fucking BBC doing what they always do. So you hear dog barking, never shuts up. So that was no fault of him. And then BBC, being what they are, decided that the show wasn't Star Wars, they had 2 arseholes, wanted to do away with Doctor Who. And they decided that the last season, what Colin Baker did, would be standing over Time Lord. That's right, it's when he was in court and he was being convicted for being a shitty Time Lord and all this. It was called standing over Time Lord. There were some I would have to rant on, but others I didn't think was bad. I didn't think his performance was that bad. I say it again, I did not think his performance was that bad. He did a good performance, he was very eccentric. I do know that Colin Baker didn't like the costume he was wearing, he felt it was too eccentric and too colourful. Fair enough, he does look like for projecting in the technical fucking colour coat. But I think it went with that character, he was more eccentric, there's times he could be funny and eccentric, and there's times he could be dark and you wouldn't be staring parts. So I think Colin Baker did a bad performance. But at the time, they was looking for another doctor to try and liven up the ratings, and they got rid of Colin Baker, and I think it was unfair. I think it was shitty what they did to Colin Baker, I cannot fucking lie. I think he's an unestimated Doctor Who. Yes, I know he's broken the law now, he's been speeding and drinking and driving, but I'm on about him as the character, not in real life. And what he did is wrong. I mean, what he did as the character, and I think it was shitty what BBC did. They sacked him, and they had another actor appear as Doctor Who. No, Mr. Mitoy. I don't know what it is Mitoy, but he was more into comedy to me. Doctor Who has to be a bit funny, but it has to be a bit serious, and I think Colin Baker hit it well. I think he was treated unfair. I think the way they got rid of him was totally unfair by the shitty BBC. And I've got to hold my hands up. I like Colin Baker. In my eyes, my fucking eyes, he's an unestimated doctor. Did a few what was good, did a few what was shit. Into them people. Be smart, be safe. Talk about more movies and more reviews and probably more poll times on the way. That's what I think about Colin Baker. The Sixth Doctor Who. Into them. I'll see you later.